The accidental ARRIVL, the human exploration ship Wanderlight, was not supposed to be there. Its crew believed they were traveling through empty deep space. The mission was simple: map unknown star paths and return home safely. Inside the ship, alarms were quiet, systems were stable, and the crew felt relaxed. Captain Elias Carter leaned back in his chair, reading navigation data with calm eyes. Everything looked normal, until space itself seemed to bend around them. Without warning, the stars twisted, light stretched, and the ship was pulled forward. The jump drive failed mid-calculation, creating a sudden uncontrolled exit. In one silent moment, the Wanderlight vanished from human space. Far away, in the heart of the Galactic Empire, chaos erupted. Thousands of massive alien warships guarded the Empire's most restricted zone. No unauthorized vessel had entered this space in over 10,000 cycles. Then sensors screamed. A small unknown ship appeared right in the center of the defense grid. No warning, no energy spike, no hostile signal. The alien commanders froze in disbelief. The ship was tiny, weak, and clearly not built for war. Yet it had crossed borders that even ancient fleets feared to approach. Weapons were charged instantly. Entire armadas locked targeting systems on the human vessel. One command could erase it from existence. Inside the crew stared at their screens in confusion. Stars outside looked wrong, unfamiliar, and strangely bright. Lieutenant Mara spoke first, calmly. "Captain, this does not look like our star charts." Captain Carter nodded slowly. He checked the data again, then sighed. "Well, looks like we took a wrong turn." Instead of panic, the human crew remained calm. They ran system checks, confirmed no damage, and opened basic communication channels. A simple message was broadcast into the unknown space. "This is a human exploration vessel. We appear to be lost." On the alien flagship, silence followed. The Empire's commanders could not believe what they were hearing. The unknown beings were not screaming, threatening, or begging. They sounded polite, casual, almost bored. Scans were run immediately. The ship had no heavy weapons, no shields worth mentioning. The life signs inside were fragile and physically weak, yet something felt wrong. The crew showed no fear, no stress, no signs of surrender. They spoke as if surrounded by enemies was a minor problem. The Empire had destroyed civilizations for less. Whole worlds had burned for crossing these borders. And now these humans had arrived by accident. One commander whispered in disbelief. "They do not understand where they are." Another replied quietly, "Or worse, they do." The Emperor was notified within seconds. An emergency council was called. The question was simple, yet terrifying. Why were these beings not afraid? The decision came quickly. The human ship would not be destroyed. It would be captured and studied. Tractor fields locked onto The human crew felt the pull, but did not resist. Captain Carter raised an eyebrow and smiled slightly. "Well," he said calmly, "guess we finally found intelligent life." As the small human ship was dragged toward the heart of the Galactic Empire, no one on either side realized this single mistake would change the galaxy forever. Capture without fear, the human ship was pulled slowly through space by the Empire's tractor field. Massive alien warships surrounded it from every side. Their size alone was enough to crush hope in most species. Inside the Wanderlight, the crew watched calmly. No one shouted, no one panicked. They secured loose items and waited. Captain Carter stood from his chair and straightened his uniform. "All right, everyone," he said in a steady voice. "Let's be polite guests." The ship was guided into a giant hangar bay on the Empire's flagship. The bay was larger than entire human cities. Alien soldiers lined the walls in perfect formation. As the human ship landed, silence filled the hangar. The air felt heavy with power and expectation. The aliens waited for fear. The doors of the Wanderlight opened slowly. A small group of humans stepped out, hands relaxed at their sides. They looked around with open curiosity. Alien soldiers tightened their grips on energy weapons. Some species had conquered hundreds of worlds, yet none of them had ever walked so calmly into captivity. Captain Carter took one step forward. He raised his hand slightly, not in surrender but in greeting. "Hello," he said simply. The translators struggled for a moment. Then his voice echoed across the hangar in perfect clarity. The word confused the alien officers. No threats were made. No demands were spoken. Just a greeting. The humans were escorted through endless metal corridors. Walls glowed with strange symbols and moving light. The Empire's technology was beyond anything humans had seen. Yet the humans did not stare in awe. They asked questions instead. How old is this ship? How many people live here? Alien guards exchanged uneasy looks. Prisoners did not ask questions. They begged, they cried, or they stayed silent. Scans were run again and again. Humans were physically weak compared to most species. Their bones were fragile, their skin thin, but their minds showed strange patterns. Stress levels remained low. Heart rates stayed steady. One alien scientist whispered, "They should be terrified." Another replied, "They are not." The humans were placed in a containment chamber. Energy fields surrounded the room. Weapons were aimed at them at all times. Captain Carter sat down calmly. He smiled at his crew. "Not the worst first contact," he said. Hours passed. No escape attempts were made. No protests were voiced. Instead, the humans talked quietly among themselves. They joked, shared stories, and waited, as if delay was something they had learned to live with. High above, the Empire's Command Council watched through holographic screens. They expected weakness. They saw patience. One commander finally spoke. "These humans are either fools," he paused, "or something far more dangerous." The Emperor was informed again. New data was sent. Mental reports, emotional scans, behavioral analysis. The conclusion was unclear. Humans were not aggressive, but they were not submissive. The Emperor made a decision. "These beings will meet me." Orders spread through the flagship. Preparations began for a direct audience, an honor never given to accidental intruders. As guards returned to escort the humans, Captain Carter stood without being asked. He nodded politely. "Lead the way," he said. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Empire felt unsure, and the fear was not coming from the prisoners. Meeting the Emperor, the throne chamber of the Galactic Empire was vast and silent. Its ceiling stretched so high, it disappeared into shadows. Ancient symbols glowed along the walls, telling stories of conquered stars. At the center sat the Emperor. His form was tall and powerful, shaped by evolution and war. Thousands of species had bowed before him. The massive doors opened slowly. Human footsteps echoed across the floor. The sound was small, yet clear. Captain Carter led the group forward. His posture was calm, his eyes steady. The humans stopped at the marked line and waited. The Emperor studied them closely. He expected shaking bodies, lowered eyes, and silent fear. Instead, he saw curiosity and control. "You stand before the ruler of 1,000,000 systems," the Emperor said. His voice carried weight and command. "Do you understand where you are?" Captain Carter nodded once. "We understand we crossed a border by mistake," he replied. "We mean no harm." A low sound moved through the chamber. Some advisors showed clear anger, others showed confusion. "Many have claimed innocence," the Emperor said. "They did not leave this place alive." The humans remained still. No one stepped back. No one begged. Captain Carter spoke again. "We are explorers," he said. "We get lost sometimes." The Emperor narrowed his eyes. "You show no fear," he said. "Is your species unfamiliar with fear?" The question hung heavy in the air. Captain Carter considered his words carefully. "Fear is something we live with," he said. "Our world is dangerous. We learned early that panic gets you killed." The advisors shifted uneasily. The Emperor leaned forward. "Explain." Captain Carter took a slow breath. "Our planet has storms that can erase cities, creatures that hunt for sport. History filled with wars we barely survived." The chamber grew quiet. Images appeared as humans spoke. Natural disasters, broken cities, battlefields. "We are not proud of it," Captain Carter continued. "But fear never saved us. Only thinking did." The Emperor felt something unfamiliar. Not anger, not pride, respect. "You are weak in body," the Emperor said. "Yet you stand as equals." Captain Carter nodded. "We do not measure strength the same way," he said. A new silence filled the chamber. The Emperor had ruled through power and fear, but these humans could not be ruled that way. Before he could speak again, an advisor rushed forward urgently. "A threat approaches our outer systems." Holograms flared to life. A hostile force moved toward the Empire. Fast, aggressive, unstoppable. The Emperor turned back to the humans. "You arrived at a dangerous time," he said. Captain Carter looked at the display calmly, then at the Emperor. "Looks like he could use help," he said. The advisors reacted instantly. Some laughed, others protested. "How could these weak beings help us?" Captain Carter remained calm. "We may not fight like you," he said, "but we solve problems." The Emperor studied the humans one last time. In their calm eyes, he saw no fear of death, only focus. Very well, the Emperor said slowly. You will advise us. As the humans were escorted away, the Emperor watched in silence. For the first time, he wondered if power alone was enough. Humans solve what the Empire cannot. The enemy fleet moved fast through the outer systems. Their ships were sharp, dark, and built only for destruction. Empire defenses failed one system after another. Generals argued in war rooms filled with light and noise. They trusted power, numbers, and heavy weapons, yet none of it slowed the enemy. The humans were brought into the strategy chamber. Holograms floated around them, showing star maps and fleet paths. The room went quiet as they entered. Many officers doubted them. Some showed open anger, others showed silent fear. Captain Carter studied the display carefully. He did not rush to speak. He asked questions instead. Why do you defend every system? He asked calmly. Why not let some go? The room reacted instantly. Murmurs of shock filled the air. An Empire general spoke sharply. Every system is sacred, the general said. We defend all or lose honor. Captain Carter nodded slowly. On Earth, he said, we learned you cannot save everything. The humans requested smaller displays. They removed symbols of pride and history. They focused only on movement and supply lines. Lieutenant Mara pointed at the map. Your enemy moves fast, she said, but they depend on long supply routes. Empire analysts paused. They had never considered this. Their doctrine valued direct strength. The humans suggested a simple plan. Pull back from outer systems. Create empty space. Let them advance, Captain Carter said. Let them stretch. Some officers protested loudly. Others watched in silence. The Emperor listened. The plan continued. Human teams worked with Empire engineers. They adjusted defenses, not to attack, but to mislead. False signals were sent. Supply points were quietly removed. Traps were set when no one expected them. When the enemy arrived, they found no resistance, only silence. They moved deeper, faster, confident. Then their supply lines broke. Fuel ran low. Communication failed. The Empire watched in disbelief. No massive battle had begun, yet the enemy slowed. Humans waited. They did not celebrate early. They watched patterns. When the moment came, the Empire struck only once, a focused, controlled attack. The enemy fleet collapsed in confusion. Their ships scattered. Leadership fell apart. In days, the threat that lasted decades was gone, not by brute force, but by patience and planning. Empire commanders stood in silence. Victory screens glowed softly. No cheers followed. One general finally spoke. We failed for years, he said, and they solved it in days. The Emperor turned to the humans. You used no superior weapons, he said, no overwhelming power. Captain Carter smiled slightly. We use what works, he said. Rewards were offered immediately. Land, titles, technology. The humans refused politely. We just want to go home, Captain Carter said. The room fell quiet again. The Empire felt something new, respect without fear. As the humans left the chamber, whispers followed them through the halls, not of weakness, but of a species that did not fight to prove strength, only to survive. The realization the war halls of the Galactic Empire were silent once more. Screens that once showed danger now showed calm space. The enemy threat was gone. Empire leaders gathered in quiet reflection. They were not celebrating. They were thinking. The humans stood to the side, waiting. They did not demand thanks. They did not seek praise. The Emperor rose from his throne slowly. His voice carried across the chamber. You have changed the course of our history. Captain Carter inclined his head slightly. We were just passing through, he said. The Emperor studied the humans closely. They had faced his power without fear, solved his greatest threat without pride. You could have asked for anything, the Emperor said. Why did you not? Captain Carter answered calmly. Because we did not come to take. We came to explore. This answer spread unease and respect together. Empires were built on taking. Humans were different. The Emperor made a final decision. Humans will be recognized as equals, he declared. No Empire force will ever harm them. A galactic message was prepared. It was sent across countless systems. Its warning was simple. Do not provoke humans. The message explained nothing more. It did not need to. The Empire's word was enough. The humans were escorted back to their ship. Engineers quietly repaired the jump drive. No restrictions were placed as the Wanderlight prepared to leave. Empire officers watched in silence, some with relief, others with awe. Captain Carter stood at the entrance one last time. He looked back at the massive fleet, So, he said lightly, "Thanks for the help." The engines powered up, space bent once more. The human ship vanished, across the Empire. Records were rewritten. Fear was removed from human files. Respect replaced it. Historians would later write, humans were not dangerous because they sought war. They were dangerous because they were calm in it. Generations would remember this moment, the day humans arrived by accident and left by choice. The galaxy learned a simple truth: those who do not fear power cannot be controlled by it, and somewhere far away, the Wonderlight returned to human space, its crew already telling the story, not as a conquest, not as a victory, but as another strange journey.